What's going on, guys? We got episode 33 of the Thoughtful Banter podcast.
So shout out Ahmed, Ali, Asad, Latifa, Farouk, Muhammad, TJM, Justin, and Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan.
If you guys want to become a patron, click the link down below. It is the second best way to support us because you're bringing food on the table. That's how we actually got some of our equipment. That's how we got people to help us with the production of these episodes. It goes a long way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so. But I will say, unfortunately, we have seen in the news that earthquakes hit Syria, really bad earthquakes, powerful earthquakes hit Syria and Turkey. And unfortunately, a lot of people have lost their lives. And the death count is, so we still actually don't have an accurate number of how many people actually died. So many people have lost their lives. Many people are going to be affected by these earthquakes, and it is a tragedy. One thing I do want to address, and this is a weird thing that happens on only Muslim social media, and you think we have some act right, because we have like the best religion, but this weird thing that happens on social media sometimes, and I've seen it here and there, and it's honestly disgusting, because there are ahadith that mention stuff about earthquakes and natural disasters being connected to certain sins. A lot of times there are people who use moments like this to say things like, it's because there was a lot of zina here, or a lot of zina. There must have been a lot of zina happening in this place, and that's why these earthquakes happen. First of all, there is no way for you to know or to distinguish a difference between something that just happens naturally or God caused to happen as a punishment for people who are sinning. So don't you dare even try to make that assessment, because you are not the prophet of God. You are not the Aimma. You have no direct connection. There's nothing being revealed into your heart. You don't know.
You have no knowledge.
You have no
idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea what you're talking about. So instead of making ridiculous claims and accusations, shut your mouth and pray for the people that were affected. Okay? That's the truth. And even if we know for 100% fact that there was this thing happening in this area and that's the cause of the earthquake, there are still people who are affected by this earthquake that weren't a part of that. So even then, get off your high horse and have some empathy. That's all I have to say about that. I don't really have anything else. Of course, donate if you can, and prayers. I know thoughts and prayers is like a thing that's like termed as corny, and a lot of Western society kind of like scorns that nowadays. But prayers work, and prayers are significant. So do whatever you can, whatever is in your power to do it.
Inshallah, we can have a link down below to one of the places that people can donate to. I've seen actually a lot of good Muslim influencers raise a lot of money for this thing. So, mashallah, I actually haven't seen people do that. But I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I know Muslims, unfortunately, are so goofy.
It's specific parts of like social media.
I'm sharp. Yeah. Like I don't doubt you, because I've seen that kind of stuff before. It's like instead of praying, it's like, dude, we don't. It's an earthquake. That's a terrible thing. Like if you see the footage of it, man. Like we are so desensitized, at least living here, to like a lot of bad things in the earth, man. Like an earthquake, it's like you can't run away from an earthquake, bro. Like imagine your house just falls, caves in, and you're in the house. Like you can't, man. Like that's terrible. Yeah. So.
Very
moment of silence for that, for real.
Inshallah.
Yeah. I feel kind of goofy moving on to the next topic.
We can make that like a different
yeah.
That'll be like a different segment.
Yeah, I guess we'll have a pause and we'll continue from here. But yeah, besides the earthquakes happening, a lot of things happening on social media lately, man. I feel like things are moving so quickly. Like I'm seeing a lot of, like, in terms of the gym. There's like this thing now where girls on TikTok are just recording themselves work out.
Yeah.
And they're calling out guys for quote unquote staring at them. It's interesting because sometimes a guy is staring at a girl in a creepy way.
There is a lot of creepy behavior that goes on in gym, especially gyms like Planet Fitness, where there's like a low barrier to entry.
Yeah. Exactly. I think the cheaper the gym, the more old creepy dudes are there because they're not really dedicated to working out, you know. But I also see like a lot of these videos, the guys are not staring at anybody. And the whole thing is weird to me because it's like, if I'm working out and have a camera, I'm actually automatically going to
bring attention to yourself.
Yeah. Just even like unconsciously, I'm walking by and I see a camera. I'm looking like, why is there a camera at the gym? Like, am I in someone's shot? You know? And then also it's like, if I'm seeing you record yourself, I'm like, why are you recording yourself? Because I'm thinking like, is this girl or is this guy like some influencer? Do I know them? You know, like why are they recording themselves deadlifting 135? That's not impressive. Like I'm thinking like no one cares about your gym talks. It's kind of cringy. It's like, why does everyone want to record their workouts?
I mean, I don't think this. I mean, some people don't even have like social media, but do it for like they'll have a coach that they send these videos to or something like that. Like, there's all kinds of reasons for you to record yourself doing something, but the thing that's problematic is, or the thing that's problematic is that when people use their recording to like catch people who are looking or staring or creeping on them, and in reality there's 1,000 reasons why that person could be like doing what they're doing, and it's not exactly clear why they're doing it, but yet they jump to the conclusion that, oh, I know that this person thinks I'm attractive and is trying to be weird and creepy and stare at me.
I feel like these people a lot of times want attention, and I'm not saying that there aren't creepy dudes to the gym. We have a whole episode about this actually. It's like one of our most viewed reels. We're talking about like creepy dude behavior at the gym. Yeah. Get it? It's terrible, but like a lot of these girls are just wanting something on social media. Oh, this creepy guy is staring at me. Oh my god, it's like, I'm looking at this video. The guy's not staring at you. He's looking maybe at your direction. You're probably using equipment he wants to use. Like all the time, I'd be like if I'm looking, if I need the rack.
We don't know, but the fact that there are so many possibilities makes you posting this video extremely goofy.
It's very goofy.
Extremely goofy.
If I'm at the gym and I want some equipment and it's packed, I will be pacing back and forth.
Yeah, you'll be posted up.
I'm in line. I'm posted up.
And
I'm looking over like, is this person done yet? Is this his last set yet? You know, and maybe that person thinks you're staring, but like, I just want what you're using.
Especially nowadays, bro. Like, you go in the gym at 5, 6 p.m., there is not a space to move in the gym, basically. And so if you're like waiting for the benches or something, you literally have to be posted up like,
on that jump.
Exactly.
I mean, there's one time like where we actually went to the gym and it was like in the afternoon, and we were waiting for this bench and this guy tried to cut in front of us. You remember that?
Yeah.
And it's like, you really got to be posted up.
Yeah.
Like, this is my bench, bro. Move on. I got dibs.
Crazy. What do you think? Speaking of influencers, speaking of gym influencers, recently I've seen this like fusion and crossover between gym and like Muslims and the gym, right? And so like, especially from the dudes, but there are also some really popular female Muslim lifters as well. Some of them are really strong, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
I know what you're talking about.
Are really strong. But especially, I'm talking specifically for the guys. There's like this, you know, we have to be strong like the Sahabi. We have to be strong like the people during the Prophet's time. So go to the gym, brother. Go to the gym, brother. Go to the gym, brother. And then they'll have like
Allahumma salli ala
so they'll have
this
clip this clip playing over them like getting ready to go to the gym, and they'll start off like shirtless, but like I guess their belly button's covered or
belly button censored.
Some of them
I just have my first 4 packs of abs showing.
Well, like, yeah, they'll do that. Some of them don't even do that, but they'll have like this music playing in the background. Sometimes they'll have Quran playing in the background, or they'll be like, I just like watch this one TikTok. This dude is like shirtless in his kitchen, like cleaning up, and he's listening to this dude recite Quran like on his TV as he's doing his chores. And he's
I'm shirtless.
MashaAllah.
I'm shirtless.
The dude reciting is this guy, and I'm like, what is the point of this video?
This is like cognitive dissonance to a new level. It's more than just the gym. I feel like there's just a trend on social media where it's like we're like monetizing Islam, but we're not. We are still interacting with the content through the general social media lens of what's trending fast, and sex sells. So for example, there's this guy, so like I'll give an example. There's this one influencer, I'm not gonna say his name, I'm sure he's a nice dude, but like there's like he has like YouTube videos that's called like he's like reciting the Quran, right? But like the way the camera is and like the way his dress and like his posing and everything, it's like I'm reciting the Quran, but look how sexy I am. And it's really cringy. And I'm like, mashallah, like you have a great recitation, but it's really cringe. And it's like, it's similar to this. It's like, oh, workout for the Sahaba, like workout to be like the Sahaba, but I'm also shirtless and look how nice my physique is. And it's like, I don't think the Sahaba were actually, I don't think anyone back in the day was concerned with their appearance. Really, they're looking at like functional fitness.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's one. Like, if you really want to get down to it, that's like that's facts.
You're
right?
just lean, bro.
You're just lean.
Yeah, you're not.
Two, there's like you said, there's this weird like commodification, like clout chasing phenomenon that's happening with. I think it happens with religion. I think Islam is just the hot religion right now.
Yeah, everyone's
and
converting.
so that's what everyone's like hopping on. But I want to write about this, but I was having a hard time kind of distinguishing between these two like categories of people. But in my head, it goes something like this, right? So you have a group of people who have jobs and they're just Muslim. Like, their being Muslim has nothing to do with their job. Their job has nothing to do with them being Muslim. There's like a dude who codes and he's a Muslim guy who codes. Okay, who cares? We don't care about that person. Then you have people like us, people who create content, who either create content, that's us, or produce a service, or or sell something online catered specifically to Muslims' needs.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have this weird other section that's like, we're Muslims and we're content creators, but we're not really serving anyone but ourselves and using Islam as a vehicle to do that with. I think I just clarified the
You did clarify. Like right there.
Yeah, like right here. I think I just clarified.
Like, it's not serving anybody.
No,
but Islam is this vehicle you're using because it's like Islam is trending, like even like to the sound like that you're using like on Instagram or TikTok when you're posting. The sound is trending, so it's like
exactly.
I happen to be very fit. I look really good with no clothes on, and I'm Muslim, so I'm going to record myself putting in beard oil and working out with Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad playing in the background, and somehow it's religious motivation.
Yeah.
When really I'm a dude who's just going to the gym, and Allah knows our intentions. And it's like, Islam wants you to be fit, but akhi, what are you doing? You know? But there's some guys who do it right. Like there's these brothers who have been at it for years now. It's like these calisthenics trainers who be training, I think, in New York and DC and in London, and like they're all wearing kufis, and like they be wearing like clothes, and I like you know, like they have the hijab on, you know, and one brother even has his wife who's niqabi doing straight pull-ups and what do they call when you go over the pull-up bar?
Muscle-ups?
Yeah, she's doing straight muscle-ups for reps, and she's a niqabi, she has the gloves on, and I'm like, to me that's a proper example of fitness, because the brother is not showing his belly button. He's just training, and he's like more modest.
I mean, is he showing? I don't know who you're talking about, but like, it's not even just your belly button or whatever.
But he's being like overall modest. I'm saying like
okay,
his whole thing. He's not like how to get abs like the Sahaba, and he's like unshowing. He's not doing that. He's just like, hey, you know, a lot of these calisthenic dudes are talking about like real performance stuff. Like, oh, this is how I'm doing like that, the flag. You know, like stuff like that. You know,
and then there's also like, obviously there is a utility to showing yourself in the gym, right? Especially if you have a audience that you want to promote like health lifestyle to, like a whole complete, like we were saying, holistic like lifestyle.
Yeah,
exercise is going to be a part of that. I think my issue with it is, one, again, like using it for clout, and then two, this like fixation, and I think it leads to like a lot of weird. It can go down like the red pill hole of like this fixation on looking, like being strong, looking strong, and then somehow connecting that to like, this is necessarily, God wants you at 10% body fat. And like, no one actually says that, but it seems to be the kind of implication. It's like, brothers, get strong in the gym so you can protect this, protect that, protect this. And I'm like, bro.
It doesn't make much sense, especially because like nowadays it's like the utility of actually like what is utility nowadays is far more what's up here, and that's actually how it's always been. Like fitness is important. I'm not saying discard being strong in the gym, but like your mind is actually the most important thing to be sharp, right? So it's like if your focus is just on gym, but you haven't really increased your mental faculties, then you're actually less useful than the guy who's super skinny and it's maybe like 15% body fat, but as a programmer, he's making like $180,000 a year.
Or even
you
like,
know, like
even not money, monetarily.
Yeah.
Let's say he works a 9 to 5, makes $90K a year, but he's hitting his salats on time.
That's a better
single
example.
time.
Yeah.
Like he's not missing a prayer.
Yeah, and he can actually teach the youth something. For example, he volunteers and he gives Quran classes.
Because we talk about the gym. The gym is good. Like I'm not like, please don't get me wrong. As many gym analogies as we use on this podcast, like the gym is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it is. But there is a dark side, I guess. There is a negative aspect that no one seems to talk. Like there's no nuance in discussion of the gym. It's like, oh, the gym is just good. Always go to the gym, get as strong as you can, look as good as you can. And it's like, yes, as you start looking good, as you start looking better, right? And you don't have that akhlaq and you don't have that religious teaching, what is that gonna, when you look good, look muscular, and you're 12% body fat, less than 15% body fat, and I can like visibly see all your jackness, you look good, and you don't have that other stuff, what is that gonna lead to? It's gonna lead to you in the kitchen doing chores shirtless with some Quran in the background, be like, oh, subhanallah.
because you have no other utility. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the gym, I feel like the most important thing about physical fit. Wow, I was thinking about this. And like to any of the haters, we're literally going to go to the gym right after this. So I don't know. This guy's got his gym hoodie. I got my gym shirt on. Like, we're about to hit the gym after this. But like, even then, like, unless you're a professional athlete, unless you make your money from the gym, the biggest utility for the gym for most people is not the fact that it makes you look better. It's because what impacts it has on your mind, and you learn life lessons in the gym that you that correlate to other areas in life.
Yeah.
Like you learn about hitting goals in other areas from the gym. You learn about overcoming hardship. You learn about self-discipline. And it really becomes a metaphor. And it's like most people who go to the gym consistently, most of them don't even look super, super good compared to like half of these Instagram models or whatever. But they're maybe successful in other areas of life because they learn from the gym, for example, to be a better father, I need to sacrifice. The same way I have to sacrifice to hit like this bench press PR, for instance,
As like, again, I think the previous episode we did with my mom is like really, as far as the holistic approach is really good. It's a really good framework because you can basically apply it to anything. And again, like we were saying in that episode, if you just do what you're good at or just do something that you like, the other skills or the other things that you need, they are going to become less potent. You're going to get worse at them. They're going to atrophy. As you get better at this thing and you're just pouring all your energy into it, those other things are just going to fall by the wayside. So I say all that to say, gym talk, Muslim gym talk, please just, again, have some nuance in the way that you're showing these things and discussing these things, because we should not just be pouring all of our energy into X thing.
Yeah, sorry.
And I think there are some accounts that do it really well. That Life with Muaz or whatever.
I think I follow him on Thoughtful Banter, right?
Yeah, he followed him with Thoughtful Banter, and then I followed him because of that, actually.
Yeah.
But he's really cool.
So was he the guy that he was talking about the fitna in the gym?
Yes.
And now I was gonna say, like, what was his name again?
Muaz.
Shout out to him because like he is the first person I have ever seen on Muslim Gym Talk talking about that. Like the brother was actually saying like the gym can lead to fitna.
Yes,
like
bro.
you look at yourself like, oh, I'm so attractive, I'm so good, and it's like, brother, what are we doing? Like whether you're single or married, like you're posting pictures of your body and you're getting all this attention, and like any non-mahram could be looking and they DM you like, what are we doing?
And the reality is, like, let's just talk about what's like straight up facts for a minute. The better you look, the more attention and the more people will be attracted to you, male or female. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean like necessarily sexual attraction, but people might just be like drawn to you.
People are drawn to
you more because you look good, right? And so that is, if you don't have everything, that is even more of like an impetus for you to have everything else in check, because if you don't, you are going to fall flat on your face.
You're putting yourself into a test that you're not spiritually prepared for.
Yeah.
And it's because you haven't been working on those other areas.
Yeah.
And I think like, again, the gym attracts us, and I think it's because it's a good metaphor for so many other issues we have in life, and it's like the physical is a symbol for the spiritual, but if we don't make that connection, then we are going to probably be hurting ourselves, like if you're struggling, let's say with lowering your gaze, and you get the advice of, if you want to be more attractive, go to the gym. you start hitting the gym, and then mashallah, 6 months later you look right, but you haven't got better at lowering your gaze. Then now you're just tempted with a bunch of women who are actually hitting you up, giving you attention
also,
because you look
women
nice.
in the same space. Like, that's another thing that people don't talk about. Like, the gym is filled with things you should not be looking at.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of things in the gym that you actually should not be looking at, right? So perhaps that person who struggles with lowering their gaze but also needs to work out, or needs to add some exercise in their life, maybe they shouldn't go to the gym.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that they don't work out.
That doesn't mean they don't work out. Exactly. Exercise does not mean gym.
Yeah, you can go home, like, and that's another thing about the whole gym culture. It's lost itself. It's so materialistic. It's so void of spirituality. Lots of times, it's lost itself. Like, the purpose of the gym is to exercise, yes, but you don't need the gym. Like, you can do push-ups at home. You can do burpee. You can work out like a bro. If prisoners can get jacked, bro, you don't need the gym. Like, this is like a lot of young guys are missing out. Like, some young guys come to us in the masjid and like, oh, bro, like, how do you like get stronger, and like, how do you bring up these body parts and all that? And then you talk to them, it's like, oh, I don't have a gym membership. It's like, bro, in prison people get jacked. You understand? Like, you don't need to be going on TikTok and wearing like the C-bum baggy tees and all that. Like, it's cool, right? It's cool if you could do that, but like, the purpose of fitness is to take care of your body, and bringing it back to Islam. What people should be talking about is the fact that Allah's given us our bodies, so we have to take care of them. Mm-hmm. The same way how Allah's given us the earth, and we have to take care of the earth. You know, that doesn't mean taking care of the earth doesn't mean like taking care of our bodies doesn't mean we have to get the 8% body fat.
Exactly.
That's vanity. But maybe we should look at ourselves like, hey, if I'm going up the flight of steps and I'm exhausted, I'm out of breath, that's not good. That's not a good. That's not a good standard of physical fitness. Oh, I can't run a mile. Yeah, that's not good. I can't push up my own body weight. I can't pull up my body weight. You know, I'm not. If I had to protect my family, I would literally have zero chance because I'm at the bottom of the barrel of physical fitness. Okay, maybe you should get a little bit stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was bars. I don't have anything else to add. I had a thought before you started, and then it left my head as soon as you started.
We've got like 10 more minutes.
We're at 26 right now.
10 more because we have to cut out a bit in the beginning. Really short.
What was the last thing you said, bro?
Vanity. We like the gyms. We lost the purpose of the gym.
Oh yeah, that was a hard point. Another thing, talking about like losing the point of the gym. The gym, again, going to the gym is to live a healthier lifestyle. And that includes what you eat as well.
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of these gym influencers...
Calling me out, bro?
They'll go to the gym and then just eat processed meal after processed meal after processed meal and be like, bro, I got that protein in.
You're calling me out, bro.
I got that. No, bro, I do it too. I do it too.
You're spitting.
I'm just saying, it's really important to... I'm going to go back to it. It's really important to be holistic in your approach to things and make sure you're covering all your bases. And of course, we can't be perfect in everything, and that's not like the expectation. I'm not trying to hold anyone to that expectation. Lord knows I'm not perfect, right? Like, Lord knows.
Same.
But I just think we should be more responsible when it comes to the content that we are putting onto the internet. We don't know who's consuming it, especially in this age when you have kids who are as young as 11, 10, 9 looking at TikToks and looking up to these idiots on their screen. You know, it's just
it's crazy, bro. Like, this is a rabbit hole. I mean, it gets so deep because we literally, and you say 8, 9, it gets younger than that. I mean, kids just give their parents give their kids just screens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they're not even raising their kids anymore. Really young kids are looking at stuff. As Sis Latifah was mentioning on our previous podcast, and like the gym culture as a pinnacle for health is pretty terrible. I mean, so many people are on drugs. So many people aren't natural, and like at least people are now talking about it because we see like how the majority of even like physiques, like let's say you call you like a 7 out of 10, the amount of those dudes who aren't natural is absurd. Mm-hmm. And guys who are super super young are taking TRT, which is like probably the best they could take, and then they take worse. They take Trenbolone, they take all this stuff just because in their mind, they can't be satisfied with themselves unless they have 20 pounds of extra muscle mass on them.
Have you seen those dudes, the Trent twins?
Yes.
Bro,
yes,
they're 22. They're our age.
They're our age, and they're huge. They're massive.
But they're on trend, and they started like mid-puberty, bro. You didn't hit your natural trend, bro.
And it's like, why is this? Like, let's look at it from a spiritual perspective. It's because they want this dunya, they want this worldly goal so bad, and they want it now. You know, it's like, it's nothing wrong, bro, if you want to be a unit. Like, honestly, I want to be a unit. That's fine, but it's like, you can't give yourself until you're 30. You want to hit it now, and you don't care if you die. Like, you might die, bro. Your heart's going to explode. You want to, like, you know how many bodybuilders die of heart attacks at young ages? Like, if you're a bodybuilder and you've been doing drugs, like, your whole lifting career, you're lucky if you make it past 50, bro. Like, Rich Piana set the example, bro.
Yeah.
Rich Piana died young.
Yeah.
And, like, you could say what you want, like, oh, I want to be big and all that. I'm like, y'all, I don't know what it is. It kind of feels like you want to avoid, like, death, or not even death. You just want to be young and, like, be in your prime forever, but you're not even letting yourself hit your natural prime. Like, it's just sad. I'm like, there's more to life. Like, again, people aren't, there's so much more to life than just having, like, abs.
Yeah.
Like,
or even having a lot of money.
Yeah, all these things. Like, imagine if you've told yourself that the only way I could be happy is by having my body look a certain way, then you've set yourself up for failure. For anything in the future. Like, imagine you get cancer, or you get sick, or something happens and your physique kind of falls off for a bit. You're not happy with yourself in the mirror. Yeah. There's a great clip where Andrew Schultz is talking to Liver King, and Liver King is talking about, like, working out every day and like looking like all the stuff, ancestral tenets or whatever. Andrew Schultz is spitting, and this is before I think the steroid thing came out. And Liver King was speechless because Andrew Schultz was like,
I think I've seen this.
He's like, he's like, the fact that you have to feel, for you to feel good about yourself, you have to lift heavy things every day and look a certain way. That's crazy, because when I ask myself, like, what am I happy about? I ask myself, like, have I been a good provider? Have I been good to my friends? Have I been good to my family? Because of lifting heavy things every day and looking crazy, shredded, shirtless makes you a man. Though, who the hell am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'm a good man because I take care of my family. I take care of my friends.
And I think there's like this, like, and I think we should caution away from this, especially as Muslims. We should caution away from this. But there's this spirit of materialism that a lot of times is in these, even the Muslim ones, is in these, like, gym influencer videos, right? And so if our ontology, if what we believe exists, or even what we subconsciously accept, even if we don't say with our tongues, but we subconsciously accept in the way that we're presenting some things, is that only the material world exists, then the outcome is, like, the logical conclusion of that is, yes, it matters how good I look, right? But if we frame everything, and one of the kids yesterday gave a presentation, and he was talking about how people constantly are in pursuit of the scarce resource that is value. And I was talking about the beautiful thing in Islam is that it can fix these weird, perverse incentive structures by framing it in a structure that's perfect. And the perfect structure is God, because God is infinite. You will never get tired of pursuing God because there is always God to pursue, right? And so then once you know that, you frame all of these things in that framework. So I'm getting my body in shape for the sake of God. I'm going after money for the sake of God. I'm going after these things for the sake of God. And you'll never be tired. You'll never be tired. Even if you don't hit the material goal that you have, if you're doing everything with that intention and you're doing the things you're supposed to do, you're not losing. You can't lose. You can't. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, subhanAllah.
I had to let you cook. I've been working, like, I feel like on the mashallah, you're spitting on the podcast. I mean, it's a learning process. A lot of times in the past, both of us interrupt each other because we're used to completing each other's sentences. and I was recently listening to a Joe Rogan clip for like podcast advice, and he was talking about podcasting is a dance. I just had this instant just now where you're going. I was like, just
let him cook.
Let him cook. I said, let him cook.
Oh my god.
MashaAllah.
I could expand that out even further. Like I could go like
no, go,
really
bro.
deep into
I'm letting you cook like a pressure cooker, bro. Like my mama cooking some lamb, bro.
But I was having these conversations about like, you know, capitalism, like economy, like capitalism versus socialism versus all these things or whatever. And so a lot of times when a resource is scarce, right? A resource is scarce. In a capitalist society, what happens is if supply for something is low and a lot of people want that thing, then the price for it goes up, right? And so the free market capitalist argument for allowing price gouging is this. When there's a shortage of a supply, so say there's a shortage of water, the demand for it goes up, the supply for it is low. The price for it should also be able to follow the market, so it should be able to go up as well. Even if we get to like $400 for $25 or whatever, the market should be allowed to do that. That signals to consumers and that signals to entrepreneurs. What that signals to consumers is conserve the water that you do have and only buy what you need, right? So if you only have $600, right? And a case of water is $200, maybe you only buy one, right? Because you might need that $400 for something else. So it signals to the consumer that. And then what it signals to entrepreneurs who are outside of the affected area is, hey, let's bring water there so we can make a profit. And so the profit incentive essentially fixes the price gouging, because once entrepreneurs start coming to the area to fulfill that need, the supply of water then increases and the price of water goes down. Long story, right? But in Islam, price gouging is not allowed. And the incentive is still there, but it's different. The incentive is bring water to these people, help your brothers in faith, because that will give you more, that will bring you closer to God. So you see, it's like Islam literally has these things in it where it just flips that incentive structure. And again, doesn't matter if it costs you $1,500 to take water to these people. You lost in this world, but you gained infinitely in the next. You can't lose. You can't.
So Muslim, you can't like really like. We got to make a whole episode. I feel like it'd be really entertaining to like make just like a list of problems and just show how Islam solves everything. You know, like Islam is literally a perfect religion, and like we're seeing this trend on social media where everyone's converting it, and sometimes it's a little bit cringy just because we look at like the monetization of the religion itself. But I do feel like a lot of what's happening is that the world has been pushing, like it's when things become very unbalanced, you see people rush towards the other direction to find balance. You know, so oftentimes there's this level of pain we need to go through to make a change in our life. I forget what it's called, but the example is like many times if your situation is bad but tolerable, you won't change it because it's just good enough. Like let's say you have a job and your manager is kind of a jerk and driving there sucks, but the pay's enough that you don't quit. You're going to keep going there. Mm-hmm. But if you work this job that's just too bad, the pain is intolerable and you're going to change. I think that applies to even like spirituality, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm a decent person. My fitra is not telling me I'm really bad. So I'm okay. I'm just going to be in this gray area where I'm just like kind of agnostic. I'm not really practicing. But oftentimes the guy or girl who's like been deep in the sin and they're just in a completely hedonistic lifestyle, something in them's like, we need to run fast the other direction, you know, and then
we got to fix it.
We got to fix this.
Yeah.
And you see people like on the extreme ends come to Islam because they're just seeing like how logical Islam is in this world right now where things are making less and less and less sense, you know? So I didn't think this episode would be this fire.
It'd be like that. I don't know.
Yeah, anything you want to add?
No, we can wrap it up.
We can wrap it up, man. I mean, incentive structures, we got to talk more about this later though, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah. I'll try to like, I don't know how many people of from this podcast follow my blog, but I just started it. Don't expect to get much out of it, but basically I just want to continue like improving my writing skills. So I like talking about stuff like this.
Inshallah, we'll actually post some of your content on Thoughtful Banter because I feel like I feel like, bro, everyone who's listening to this podcast enjoys hearing you think.
Hello.
Your nerdiness. Don't be so shy. So everyone, follow Hussein's blog, and inshallah we'll be posting some snippets of it on the page consistently. For those of you who are still listening, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. We're humbled by your presence this year. I'm really happy with how consistent we've been. Things have been, working out. So again, thank you to you. Share this episode if you enjoy it with a friend. Make sure to rate it on whatever streaming platform you're using. And if you are if you got the bread, if you have the bread, please spare us some of that bread. Go to our Patreon page and support us there to help us make more episodes like this
Inshallah.
possible.
Also, we're going to be at Ma'arifa. I know we put this on our Instagram.
Yes, sir.
But in case you didn't see that, we're going to be at Ma'arifa. We're going to have a booth at Ma'arifa. For all of you people that are constantly sliding in me or Matthew's DMs talking about we want to be on the podcast, you better show up because your wish just might come true. That's all I'm going to say.
That's right, Dane. All right, guys.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
I say wa alaikum salam. Yikes.